Hey everybody, and welcome back to my weekly garden video update. I thought I would let Astro say hi this week since he likes to do that. Really, this whole week we had really nice weather and some crappy weather, and I spent a ton of time harvesting. My cucumbers are going to town, my zucchini's going to town, my neighbor has a yellow plum tree, so here I am over at my neighbor's harvesting some of those yellow plums, and I spent 2 of the days that we had rain just canning, pickling, making jams. This isn't by any means the total amount that I did, but spent a lot of time there. Going back into the garden, I realized that deer are still coming through. You saw them chewing down some of my lettuce, and here's some footprints across them on my bed, so I might have to do a bit more protection. I had some starts ready to go, so I put them in the ground this week, but honestly, this week was also a little bit of garden maintenance, so here I am kind of deadheading my dahlias. You see me cutting back some of the potatoes, because I'm going to get ready to pull them out of the ground. Again, round after round of harvesting cucumbers and zucchinis. They're just, like I said, growing like mad this time of year. I also harvested some tomatoes, which is pretty exciting. Got a lot of green ones. And here's me eating some beans and harvesting some beans. But here's what's kind of coming out of the garden right now. Cucumbers, tomatoes, beans, zucchini, broccoli, lettuces, onions, garlic. I mean, just lots of stuff, little peppers. And so I'm overwhelmed with vegetables, but that's great. So here's just a look at my garden. I'm not going to go row by row, but there's my beets. They're also pretty much ready to go. I haven't harvested them, and I'll leave them in the ground a while longer. But you saw my tomatoes there. Here's some basil and my cucumber, and there's my beans in the background, and kind of my row of potatoes, which are still in the ground. I've just kind of left them there. And then my corn, I think it's producing really nicely. Well, hopefully it'll form nice ears. And a look at my sort of trimmed up, deadheaded dahlias. I've put those starter peas that you saw in the little cells, I put them in the ground. Also some lettuces in the ground. Those are my beets for next year. Those are going to be my seed beets if I can get them to produce seed. And my jalapeno, I haven't really shown much about this, but it's producing little peppers, so I'm excited about that. My squash is kind of starting to take off a little bit more, which I'm happy about. But my grape, a couple of them aren't doing well, but one of them I planted in a random spot is actually doing quite well. I do have some things in seed trays. There's a couple more lettuces that I'm kind of letting grow a little bit larger. And then I've got a bunch of strawberries started for moving out to the garden. But really, I thought I'd just leave you guys with a shot of Ava and Finn just kind of lazing in the heat that we had earlier this week.